What's going on? It's your boy DameSmiff. So we got a lot of crazy stories going on in the music industry right now, and I guess I could just recap a couple of the things. We've lost a couple artists to some gang violence. We lost some artists to like freak accidents, and there's a lot of new artists coming out as well as new music from a lot of our legends coming out. But if you like stuff like this, make sure you like, share, and subscribe because many of these conversations will be had on YouTube, and I want you guys to stay updated on all the stuff I'm putting out. So, when we thinking about the recent events, I think we should really consider culture and lifestyle of the artists we enjoy today. So, just consider like appreciating the people that you enjoy and that they actually have a limited time here. And for the most part, the time that you have, if it's not spent trying to thrive, trying to grow, trying to, encourage, love, and cherish each other, you might not, but you may want to consider adjusting that, right? And just making changes. And what do I mean when I say that? So recently we seen a rapper, he was running down the highway when he got gunned down, right? And when we're considering just that moment alone, just that scenario, do we consider that to be a common occurrence for musicians or a common occurrence for a certain type of person? And I don't really want this to steer off into talking about like, hip hop crime and things like that. I really wanted to focus on musicianship because I think there is a disconnect between how we feel and treat musicians versus what we expect their lifestyles to be like. And it has nothing to do with a certain genre or a certain demographic or a certain class. It really has to do with just celebrity culture and understanding what we really are asking for with our demand of entertainment. And so, alongside with that incident, we did have another rapper who passed away from a freak accident, but this freak accident happened and occurred during a police chase. And so, again, trying to address the lifestyle of what we would consider a rapper or a musician, would we consider that common or, you know, normal for that to happen? And I think the answer I come to is it's normal for the type of people we are considering musicians. Okay. And I think that will kind of go over a lot of people's heads until you slow down what I said. But I think the people we consider uh rappers, entertainers, singers, artists, and things like that, it doesn't necessarily correlate with the type of people we expect them to be when you take the title away. So for example, like me, for example, I call myself a musician, right? But I do that intentionally to kind of tell people what I prefer to do for my occupation. But if you've ever met me in person, you probably didn't see me behind a piano. You probably didn't see me on stage. You probably shook my hand and I was probably in like a 9 to 5 uniform, to be honest. So the the connection there is that I'm actually doing something that is just, a part of me, right? But what happens if that part of my lifestyle is also dangerous and threatening to my life or my livelihood or the other people around me and things like that? Would that be considered common for calling myself a musician? Now I want to parallel it to another example or compare it to another example. What if I called myself a I don't know, a lawyer? Would, running from the police be a common occurrence? Would that come to your mind? If I said I was a lawyer or a doctor, would, you know, hanging around people who have warrants or maybe are driving cars that are stolen, um, just characteristics that kind of aren't favorable to the common man. Would that kind of resonate with you if I said I was a lawyer, right? And so I think the problem I'm noticing that musicians are running into is they're shying away from certain titles and occupations because of these stigmas, only because of maybe their own personal lifestyle. Like if you are actually a rapper, why do you use the word rapper versus musician? Is it because you are connecting it to some culture or some lifestyle you may live? Or do you think that the word rapper connects you to a certain musicianship? So I don't know. Let me know, because I don't really see this problem with musicians who are, like you guys are online playing your instruments and chilling. Maybe you got family, maybe you got, wife, husband, kids, and you do your thing. Do you think when you call yourself a musician that you relate to a lot of these issues that we see shown on the mainstream, whether it's drugs, whether it's crime, whether it's promiscuity and affairs and like bad relationships? Do you think this is what's supposed to come with you calling yourself a musician like me? So let me know. And I will have more conversations like this if you guys are enjoying this. I'm out.